She was one of the greatest Playboy models in history, becoming a movie star from just her modeling career alone, having a short-lived career that has been remembered around the world for her beauty and even a larger life attitude, rivaling other actresses at the time from Marilyn Monroe to Jane Russell, and even the great Liz Taylor, leaving a legacy that had inspired many people in the modern day, and even other famous people around the world. She was the amazing Jayne Mansfield, and this is her basic biography. Jayne Mansfield was born on the 19th of April 1933 in Pennsylvania, USA. Her parents were from Europe and were able to move over to the United States for a better life. They were able to live in upper class environments and even an upper class upbringing, in which it was based on her grandparents providing money to her parents towards their future. Her father was a lawyer and her mother was a homemaker. Later on in her life, her father would pass away due to a heart attack, with other health problems earlier in his life. She would move to Texas and live with her stepfather and mother during the late 1930s. When she moved to Texas, she was able to attend schools in Dallas, with a chance to learn musical instruments and some foreign language whilst in high school. Whilst at school, she was able to watch performances from younger stars and win the chance for herself to be a star in the future, but still needed to excel in her studies instead. In the 1940s and just before the 1950s, she was able to be old enough to join universities and enroll to universities in Texas based on her studying drama, as well as working as a model part time as a student. She would take time performing on small stages whilst at university, and even graduate later on by helping out the United States Army due to their cause in World War II. Acting career. She would become part of the acting community during the 1950s due to her beauty and graduating from school or university. Then after going to school, actually, she went to university and even started doing both acting and modeling at the same time to help fund her degree. She was able to show how she was able to um, become a part of the acting community by performing in many um, small performances to large scale performances in the same decade of the 1950s. Previously, she helped the United States Army with their war effort and being part of the pin up poster culture. She was able to play many B movies to taking up small roles whilst in Hollywood. This meant she could start a Hollywood movie career early and would be able to take part as a model by entering various competitions. However, she was spotted by Hugh Hefner, who offered her an opportunity to be a Playboy model and a Playboy bunny. However, her first movie, when she was starring in Hollywood, her first major movie was called Female Jungle in 1955 and starred in many more movies straight after this one. Based on her modeling career and experience, she was a model and now a movie star. When she was a model for Playboy, she was even taking part of the community by being a Playboy bunny and making herself a via a centerfold appearance for February 1955. The the early career that for this actress is was in regards to modeling and even becoming a superstar or a sex symbol during the 1950s, in which had rivaled both Jane Russell and even Marilyn Monroe, who were the elites at the time. Before starring in her major movie in 1955, she worked on various stage performances, such as burlesque, and even worked on Broadway as an actress. She even continued to act throughout the 1950s to the 1960s when being a Hollywood star. This was due to being one of the best models of all time and even being an icon during the start of her acting career. Whilst in the start of her acting career and even in her movies career, she would even work with Jane Russell, but in the movie Underwater, and this was in her breakout year of 1955, and then starring with one of the Hollywood great actors, Anna Ladd, in the same year. Hollywood Playboy model. She was a Playboy model that turned into an Hollywood star, and had been able to rub shoulders with elite actors and actresses of the time, who were best known to be the best of the best in the business. Jayne Mansfield was a woman that people fell in love with on screen and even off screen based on her movies of modern dramas as well as comedies. This was in the 1950s and during the 1960s, where she was able to change her image from a model to a superstar of the silver screen, starring in movies that were related to history with her future husband Mickey Hargitay, which made them both one of the best and greatest couples in Hollywood, even being able to be known through history through biographies and stories based on their relationship. Her movies were highly panned by critics around the world. These movies were filmed in Europe and even the USA, but some were not released in cinemas around the world due to only being filmed in Europe and shown in Europe rather than USA. This meant she could only star in select movies, not being provided in movies that were blockbusters or being great successes, which her counterpart Marilyn Monroe was able to get during the 1950s and 60s. Another movie that she was able to star in was called The Loves of Hercules in 1960 and would be only shown in Italy or in Europe, then starring in movies filmed in USA, such as Panic Button in 1964, and then starring in the Las Vegas Hillbillies in 1966. During the 1960s, Jayne Mansfield would have time to appear on television, making herself known on the smaller screen by working as a dumb blonde character that was sometimes played on the silver screen. She joined in playing different typecast of characters or different types of characters that were played by Marilyn Monroe and even the British actress Barbara Windsor, who actually done the same in UK productions. She would star in such TV shows such as Burke's Law in 1964 and other shows that related drama or action at the time, then appearing on talk shows that were popular with the public and even around the world. She even spent time working on songs and even becoming a singer and dancer in the same decade, but however, she was able to excel more in a Hollywood career as an actress or as a model rather than a singer. Personal life and final years. Jayne Mansfield was married at least 3 times in her life and would have 5 children with some of the relationships she had with the stars that she was married, and even had time to date stars away from her marriages. Her first husband was Paul Mansfield, with their relationship lasting from 1950 to 1958. Her second husband was Mickey Hargitay, with their relationship lasting from 1958 to 1964. They were only married. They were only the best couple in Hollywood, and once were classed as one of the greatest. And then her final husband was Matt Kimber, from 1964 to 1966. She would have other relationships with other stars, and even have affairs with different people. She even was romantically linked one point with John F. Kennedy, who was president at the time, and even his brother Robert Kennedy during the time in power, and even spending time with each other in different events. She would win awards based on her Hollywood stardom, and would even go up against rivals and other actresses that were able to become leads instead of her. This was due to becoming a lead actress and icon in smaller movies, and even having experience as a showwoman. Originally, she was classed as a dumb blonde character, but actually grew as an intelligent woman on the silver screen, and she could stand her own on the silver screen. Yet, only roles that were given basically on her looks, but not her intelligence. Her last appearance was in the film called The Wild Wild World of Jayne Mansfield in 1968, a year after her death, and even it was based on her death or her life as well, included throughout her Hollywood career. Legacy and death. Sadly, Jayne Mansfield passed away on the 29th of June 1967 at the age of 34 years old. She died from an automobile accident due to returning from a friend's party in New Orleans. The incident actually occurred in New Orleans, where some stories actually suggested that she was decapitated during the accident and she died from injuries during the car accident. But making her career short-lived whilst being a rising star. Her legacy still lives on today as her children are actors and actresses based on their contributions to Hollywood, even having one of her children being part of a well-known television series or show during the modern era. There have been many movies based on her life. One in particular movie had Arnold Schwarzenegger playing as her husband in the movie. Other movies with other actresses had been used to inspire her modeling career, and even inspiring other actresses to become models or stars themselves. She was classed as a sex symbol during the 1950s to the 1960s, being part of Hollywood, and even being able to have her own Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, to winning multiple awards for acting. She really did have a big legacy and even a big career. You can see that modern actresses and models have some inspirations due to her looks and intelligence. And you can see these from different actresses and stars nowadays, such as Amber Heard, and Anna Nicole Smith, and even Kate Upton, to name a few. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. My name is Suki Cookie, and I do have more content like this. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so.